I started this job with a local pharmacy, which included going out round the doctor's surgeries, dropping prescriptions off, and then in the afternoon I used to go out delivering them. I was asked to take this medication to an address that I'd never been to before. When I got there, I opened the gate up and it was a spring-loaded gate which closed behind me. And then the next thing I knew was I just saw this dog running towards me, and it actually leapt towards my throat. So I put my arms up, it got me right arm and it just locked onto that, and there was just nothing I could do. It had ordered me for about half an hour, and I just thought my time's up here. And if it hadn't have been for one of the neighbours what had heard me screaming, I think within another 3 or 4 minutes I think my life would have been over. When I first started on this job, I was given probably 2, maybe 3 days training with one of the delivery drivers, and all he used to tell me is this is what you've got to do on a morning, which was i.e. go to the chemist and then out delivering. There was never any mention of health and safety, although the employer said he gave me health and safety, and he never did. One or two people, even when I was in hospital, said, "Are you putting a claim in?" And I didn't know how to go about it, to be quite honest with you. So I had a look on my insurance policy, and on there I had liability. So I chose my own solicitor to start with. They sort of like didn't want to do it, and they recommended me to go to Stephensons. They made me feel really, relaxed. They've told me everything that was going to happen, how it would happen, which way it could go. Stephensons, they've been absolutely brilliant. They've kept us informed every step of the way. If I ring them for any reason, they've always been polite with me. We've always had a bit of a laugh and a joke. And overall, first class.
If you do have an accident at work, no matter how unusual the circumstances, it's really important that you seek a specialist in the area that you're looking at. Mr Hirst went to a firm of solicitors originally, and they looked at his case from the perspective of suing the dog owner, and when they didn't think they could take that any further, they closed his file and he walked away. If he hadn't persevered and come to Stephensons, where we looked at other options, which included going against his employer, he would have been left with nothing, which would have been devastating for him given the severity of his injury. We treat all of our clients equally, but because regardless of the severity of their injury, each of my clients' lives have been turned upside down to some extent by their injury. I try to work with them to get them to the position where they were prior to the accident. So this can involve seeking interim payments from opponents to help them if they're struggling financially. It can involve arranging rehabilitation for them, maybe physiotherapy or cognitive behavioural therapy, or in more serious cases like Mr Hirst, it might involve a full case plan with a case manager involved, where we can sort all sorts of treatments out to help them with the recovery. The best part of my job is when dealing with a case like Mr Hirst, and to reach a satisfactory conclusion after all the hard work that goes into it. And it's so nice to see Mr Hirst be able to have closure on this horrible time.
The compensation that I've received, obviously it's going to be a great help. My first intentions are to get a bionic arm. Without Stephensons, none of this would, I wouldn't even be able to go anywhere. God forbid it, but if someone actually had an accident and they asked me, if I could recommend anybody, the first thing what will come into my mind is Stephensons, because they were absolutely brilliant with me. And every step of the way, they've guided me which way to go. They've told me everything that I needed to know. And I just can't fault them. I just cannot fault them.